everyone. Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord here, getting a look at what could be a rather busy evening across the area with thunderstorm potential. Been a little while since we've talked about storms that had any severity with them, but we do have the potential to get some of these moving through later on this evening. So let's dive into the details here, show you what we're looking at over the course of the evening hours. First Alert 6 weather day for these storms that are likely to take a little while to develop. Could actually have a couple of showers before we get to any storms. We're looking at storm potential as early as 6 o'clock and then beyond. Now 6, like I said, is the absolute earliest. That does not mean storms are going to be widespread by 6 and everybody will be getting one at that point. But the storm potential keeps on going into the evening and overnight hours, with large hail and damaging wind being the main threat. And it looks like they will gradually weaken during the overnight hours as well. Now we got to build up a little energy. We're doing that now with some sunshine. We're right near 70 degrees, and the temperatures beyond this should warm into the 80s pretty easily. You can see there's a few lingering 60s on the Iowa side. We had a little fog to burn through, and that has been able to happen here fairly easy. Muggy meter is going to be up there today, so we're going to notice that humidity in the air. That is going to increase a little bit over the course of the day, and that will be the fuel for these thunderstorms as we build up our thunderstorm energy. Now, not much happening out there at the moment, but there are some showers trying to drift in from the west, and this is just a little wave of energy that may try to bring some daytime clouds and a few showers around the lunch hour and into the early afternoon. If we're lucky, maybe this quells some of the energy and helps us out a little bit, but there's quite a bit of clearing behind this, and that makes me think it's not going to have a huge impact. So first alert day goes on as planned. Well, hopefully we can catch a break and get a little shade and limit our warming a little bit from those clouds moving through. So first alert day for the area you see here shaded in yellow, it's a 2 out of 5 on the scale. So we're looking at mainly wind and hail threat. But there is potential right at the start from a storm or two to maybe be rotating enough to produce a brief tornado. So we'll watch for the tornado and hail threat to start, and then it'll evolve into kind of a wind and hail threat as we go a little deeper into the evening. There's that batch of clouds streaming in from the west. And you can see here it could have a few sprinkles or showers with it into the afternoon as we warm up into the 80s. So again, that's probably not the big event. We'll climb into the 80s, and then by 5 o'clock, still pretty quiet. By 6, still fairly quiet, but you can see little hints of development. And then 6 to 7, the map starts to light up with a couple of thunderstorms. Again, these could be anywhere north or south of where they're at, but the odds lean on the Nebraska side being where these develop, and then they meander east. But notice, that's about 2 to 3 hours of time, and they haven't moved very far. I'm starting to become a little more concerned about the slow movement of these and potentially some heavy rain. So wherever they start, they have the potential to linger quite a while and dump some torrential rain, because they'll kind of be fed from the west here with some energy, and that'll be a constant feeding of these with some moisture and some energy, and they may just kind of sit in the same spot wherever they're able to develop. So by 9 o'clock, still some. By 10 o'clock, still some in the area. And you can see any one of these could produce some hail, some gusty wind, and into the evening and overnight hours, those likely pull to the south and lose a little energy, and the severe threat relaxes as we go through the course of the overnight hours. And by early tomorrow morning, still some storms on the map, but they should be weaker and not as widespread. So I talked about the heavy rainfall potential. This is through about 3 a.m. And you'll notice wherever the storms fired up, which was to the west, there's some yellows, some oranges, some reds showing up there, where the potential's there for some 3 to 5 inch rain totals, I think, underneath the first storms that get going. And that's what has me worried with the severe potential for a decent portion of the area. So this is what we'll have to watch tonight. Emily and Bo will be here to guide you through this as we march through the evening. Again, here on my page, I have my page up, so if you want to drop a couple comments in or ask a couple questions about how this evolves this evening, we'll try to touch base and get as many answers as we can here. But this is the potential rainfall off the storms, and then you get a few more through the afternoon on Tuesday, and that could add on a little bit more rainfall. And I will say, take whatever rain you can get as long as it doesn't fall too fast with this evening's storms, because there's not much to be found beyond Tuesday. We march through Tuesday's storm potential. You get some in the morning, and then we head into the afternoon, scattered showers, thunder showers. Best odds now appear to be leaning to the south of the metro. But once we get towards about 6, 7 o'clock, those should start to subside and drift south, and the rest of the evening should be quiet. But that'll keep us cooler. 74 for the high there, 77 on Wednesday, and up near 80 then by the end of the week. And it's likely going to be in the lower 80s over the weekend and the early part of next week. I'm hoping we can try to find some cooler air, and hopefully maybe take a little of the humidity out of the atmosphere with this round. Or by this weekend, I should say. I don't think we're going to get rid of the humidity entirely, but hopefully we can buy a day or two where we can see the humidity dip a little bit into the into the afternoon and make some of these 80-degree afternoons a little more enjoyable, because at least some hints anyway that we get towards Wednesday a little dip, maybe Saturday and Sunday as well. Nothing prolonged, but I'm hoping we can get some cooler weather, just because by the end of this 10-day forecast, we have 80s in the forecast. That last day on the 10-day is October 1st. On October 1st, the average high is 73 degrees. We have 81 in the forecast, and I think a widespread 5 to 10 degree temperatures above average look to be the story. Filling my sandbags for that. Well, I show you, Adam, don't look exactly where the numbers are on this rainfall. This just shows you where the potential is for the greatest, what the high-end potential is. So what I'm wanting to show you here is this, Adam, here, this little bullseye of heavy rain. I'm worried wherever this sets up could have the 3 to 5 inch total. So that could be right along the river or anywhere in eastern Nebraska. I think it's a little less likely on the Iowa side, but that's what we'll have to watch for with this as it gets going this evening, and wherever those initial storms start to develop, because I think that's where the that's where the heavy rainfall threat is. So short and sweet here. We're going to keep this. I'll pop the 10-day up so you can check that out one more time. I got to go get ready for the midday newscast and let you guys know how things are looking, get a little new model data. We'll get an update on the severe weather risk map and show you how things play out over this midday. But in the meantime, keep an eye out for thunderstorms this evening. Again, 6 o'clock is the earliest, and then the odds increase as we go a little deeper into the evening and overnight.